리플 XRP는 이제 단순한 코인이 아닙니다. 어떻게 리플은 금융 세계를 혁신할 수 있는지, 왜 리플이 가진 미래 전망이 그토록 찬란한지, 그들이 가진 가능성을 자세히 살펴보겠습니다.
Now, recently, Rocket Fuel partnered with Ripple. Tell us about that partnership, how that came about, and what are the next steps there?
Well, Ripple is based here in San Francisco, where I am, and we've been following them for a long time, and they share our vision about using technology to move money from A to B. And I also commend them for being pretty pragmatic. I feel I'm pragmatic in that this is not a religion. This is technology to make things more efficient, and things are not going to happen overnight. And so they believe in blockchain and all of that, but they also realize that the majority of payments right now or money movements is still happening with fiat. And so we're using them in some of our products. And we are looking at expanding, right? Because right now, what they're doing is they're making it really fast, efficient, and inexpensive to move fiat from one country to another. It seems simple, right? Most people think, oh, I want to move money from one country to the other, call up my bank and do a wire. It's not that simple. Right. And they are solving this using pretty advanced technology underneath it. And we can use that in all our payment products. On our pay-in product, I can settle to my merchants all around the globe super efficiently. On our pay out product, where we need to pay all these people around the world, I can use their rails, right? They have their XRP ledger, they have a blockchain. And so if I wanted to, I have a couple of products coming up that need to store things directly on the blockchain. I could potentially use them for that. So there's a lot of synergies between our two companies where they provide the technology that we need.
I don't know if you can answer this, but on-demand liquidity product, are you using that in any way, or is that not really something that's relevant to what you're doing?
No, that is exactly what we're using it for, right?
Okay.
And that is, so I was down in Dubai and I was attending their Swell conference and gave a presentation on how we use that product, which allows us to move money super fast. And it's just important because some of our bigger merchants, it's liquidity for them. And if it takes 2, 3, 4 days to send money to Dubai, then and they can move it in an hour, that's better.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else is on your roadmap for 2024? What can we expect?
Well, we want to keep expanding our product suite. We are growing right now 2 to 3 times per quarter. And our goal is to process 300 million blockchain and crypto transactions next year. So if we can do that, and it's just a proof when people say, is blockchain and crypto really being used for payment transactions? I mean, we are in our first year of full operation, 450,000 payment transactions in 11 months. Someone's doing it, right? We have 122,000 individual shoppers who have made a payment using our technology with all our merchants. 122,000. And we're a small company.
Wow.
It's happening, Tony. It's happening. I know you know. But if you look at some of the less developed world, all the unbanked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have a bank account, then with crypto, you don't need a bank account. And this is also why the banks are a little scared, right? Because if you don't have a bank account and you're sitting in Latin America or China or in India, and by the way, we're talking billions of people who could be potential bank customers. But if they get stablecoin sent to their phone and they can pay with it everywhere, and then you want to tell them that they should have a bank account, they're like, and why should I have that?
Right. Exactly. And then I was going to mention that, for example, certain platforms like Coinbase and so forth allow you to take those stable coins, lock it up, and earn interest that's higher than many than the banks out there are offering, which is next to nothing in many regions.
I mean, but I mean, I spent a lot of time down in El Salvador, and I've mentioned this example before, but I don't know if people realize it. some of these countries, they have 40%, 50% who don't have bank accounts, right? So what does that mean if you don't have a bank account? Have you ever thought about that, Tony? Let me give you an example. A family of two living an hour outside the city. They have a little shack with a little metal roof and what have you. Two things they have. They have a little wire with electricity, and then they have a phone. They all have phones. You know how they pay their electricity bill every month? Dad gets on the bus, drives an hour into the city, stands in line, pays with cash while mom goes to the market. That's not efficient. It's not safe. It's crazy. Now, if they can get some coins on their phone and the electricity company accepts it, they can pay that bill and save that hour, and he can walk with his wife to the market to make sure she doesn't get robbed or other things, right? I mean, that's the change in daily lives of this technology. Just like in Africa, they skipped the fixed landline and went directly to mobile. I think they're going to skip the banks.
I want to circle back on CBDCs because those are coming, right? And there's a whole bunch of controversy around CBDCs because there's a lot of benefits, but there's also the risk, which a lot of people are worried about, and that is, some draconian government leader comes in and they have this lever they can pull, which can unleash a lot of problems and taking away people's privacies and so forth. We're not saying that's going to happen, but the potential for it to happen is there. The U.S. is trying to figure this out. There's a lot of people putting out bills saying, hey, we don't want it to be this way. It has to be this way. So it aligns with the Constitution. Let's say they get it right and they get the digital dollar out in the market. The digital euro goes in the market. Will you be looking to, be able to support that, given that that's going to be flowing through the economy at some point?
Instead of the U.S. government, when was the U.S. government really good at running some big high technology system and run a business? Never, right? And that's not what governments are good at. They're better at doing regulation. And so look at the financial sector. How many commercial banks is the U.S. government running? Zero. They decided to outsource the banking system to the private sector. But they said, I'm going to put the framework, I'm going to protect the users, the customers, all that stuff. What if, and this is what I'm thinking, I mean, USDC, people are using it every day. It's being integrated to payroll systems and all sorts of systems. So if they wait another 3, 4, 5 years, whenever it comes out, people are going to be, why should I integrate this to SAP? The point is just make the regulation, let the private companies run it. Might be a good solution.